From the frying pan to the fire, the cauldron that is Elland Road, another pressure match against neighbours, Leeds United.
A packed house at Elland Road and two managers who know each other very well.
Yeah, well, obviously, you know, when the fixtures came out in the summer, this is the game that we're all looking forward to, because it's nice to have Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United back in the First Division along with us.
We're obviously pleased to be back in the First Division, and these are the sort of places that I've said to the lads they look forward to coming to. I played here many years ago with a great Leeds team, and it looks as if you're getting a team to match that now.
The two teams last met in Division 1 2 decades ago.
Leeds lost that grip they had earlier, but here's Bremner here, Leeds. A good ball, nice ball to Gray, and a goal, a glorious goal, a superbly executed goal.
Howard, based on your performance the other night, is there one area you're looking to improve against?
Well, I don't know. It depends what sort of game we get. It was a hard game the other night. It was a very hard-fought game, closely contested. Obviously, we're a little bit different in midfield these days to what we were last season, and hopefully, you know, that will become more apparent as the season wears on, and one would hope that we'd see that variation in midfield today.
Trevor, I'm sure you've been talking to your players about set pieces in particular.
Yes, because we actually conceded a goal last week from the set piece. It was, you know, the first goal that Villa scored, and it really knocked us about, because at 2-0 we looked to be on our way to victory. And it's difficult coming to Leeds. We know what to expect. They are a danger with their set pieces. They put you under constant pressure, but I'm hoping my lads can respond.
What's the team news, Howard, for Leeds?
Same team as the other night, and Nell and Hodgie will be struggling.
Well, I've decided to keep the same team. I felt that the first 45 minutes we played well against Aston Villa, but I'm looking for a performance today for 90 minutes.
Okay, well, 90 minutes coming up, you can shake hands now.
Cheers.
Good luck.
All the best.
See you later. See ya.
It's Yorkshire's biggest private party for many a long year, and as Howard Wilkinson says in his programme column, it's a First Division fixture he's been relishing being a part of. We're all relishing it. And that point must go for so many of today's principal players, not least John Sheridan, who returns to Elland Road for the first time since his move to Nottingham Forest 2 years ago. Wednesday in their yellow and blue strip, Leeds all in white, led forward here by Batty and Dorigo. And the tackle was a little sharp then by Carlton Palmer, and awarded by referee Colin Trussell from Liverpool. He's the man in charge of this Yorkshire First Division derby. From Strachan, up towards Speed. Down, and it was Sheridan who hooked it away. Looped up once more by McClelland. And Phil King this time coming across from his left-back berth to the right to clear. And now King bobs up in his more normal position of left-back. Aimed for Hurst. Little flick on from him as well, and Williams continues the chase. And that's going behind. It really was a blow to Sheffield Wednesday to have their midweek fixture postponed. That one was due at Wimbledon, and Leeds, of course, didn't play either at Crystal Palace last Saturday. So they start here with Leeds looking for their second home win of the week, having beaten Forest, and Wednesday looking for their first points after the home defeat by Villa. It's a Leeds throw, taken to Wallace. Strachan, a good incisive ball as well to Wallace that time. Edge of the area, free kick is given by Mr. Trussell. Won by Rod Wallace. Wallace holding his wrist. So Leeds will hope there's not serious damage. Chris Wood's anxious on the line. Noticeable in midweek how Leeds generally had 4 players around every free kick, and they've done that again. Speed and Strachan at the forefront. McAllister and Dorigo are there as well. He's taking some working out, and now McAllister whacks it in, and it sliced inches over the Sheffield Wednesday crossbar. But it was beautifully struck by the Scottish international. Just see how close this one is to the opener. Woods had it covered. Batty for Leeds. 6 minutes gone as Dorigo plays the ball wide, but not straight. Batty dived in, according to the referee. Nielsen for Sheffield Wednesday. They haven't had much time to catch their breath yet, and here is Williams. The ball falling for Danny Wilson. Well, a week ago, David Hirst caught Aston Villa's goalkeeper Nigel Spink out with a long-range shot, and Danny Wilson there, willing to pump in an early one. Struck it reasonably well, it just didn't have the bend on it to beat Lukic. And he covered it. And let's not forget, Sheffield United will be due here, and the tussles between United and Wednesday will be fascinating too. McAllister trying to get forward, Wilson taking his time, and Batty got in. It's a sustained beginning by Leeds. And Chapman wasn't challenged there by Pearson and takes the ball back from Speed. McAllister called for it. They know he can hit them, but this time it was one of his milder efforts. Somehow got it on the instep, and you expect something better than that really from McAllister. Got into an excellent shooting position though. Couldn't round it off. White allowed that to run through, and it's picked up by Williams. Now for Wilson, good ball as well. Here's David Hirst, right foot, clips it back, a great chance for Williams. And Chris Fairclough got his body in the way, otherwise Leeds might have been a goal down. A faint smile on the face of Paul Williams, still seeking his first goal in 10 games. It looked as though it might be on there. Fairclough denied him. Quarter of an hour gone. No goals as yet, and John Sheridan. Lovely ball as well for Williams again to pursue, and he's hooked it back towards McClelland, and Lukic a strong punch out. It comes back again. King to Worthington. King's still out on the touchline. Palmer's picked out instead, and now the flag is raised. John Lukic in commanding form. Sheffield Wednesday's formation with Paul Warhurst now alongside Nigel Pearson in the centre of defence, in the absence of the injured Peter Shirtliff, of course. And they really are looking to the pace of Hirst and Williams up front today, as Chapman plies the header in and Strachan continues it. Wallace will whip it across the face of goal. Speed giving chase, and he'll keep it in as well. Awkward ball for him back to Dorigo. And it's still going to stay in, courtesy of Batty. Now it's White. Strachan, well, I don't think he intended that, but it's still found Wallace, who's got an amazing little run here. Tries to play the 1-2 with McAllister. All Leeds at the moment, they win a corner. Wednesday have got their problems in defence at the moment. Chapman's gone to the near post. Fairclough's in there as well. Speed's at the back post, and it might come to him. In fact, it's gone over him. McAllister this time, the downward header wasn't well directed. And Wednesday breathe again. Nice pass, Sheridan to Wilson. Looking out here for Hurst. Recovering done by Dorigo. Well, Mel Sterland on the Leeds United bench has never ever played against his hometown club, Sheffield Wednesday, for whom he played with such great distinction over so many seasons. "279 league games and 37 goals Mel Sterland contributed in Sheffield Wednesday's cause. Tell me before the match today, if he scores one against Wednesday, he might be rather embarrassed." Williams doing well against Fairclough, and the ball in is from Worthington. White doesn't stand on any ceremony there. And it's the turn of the Wednesday fans, who are massed over there behind Phil King to encourage their side as they come with the ball inside the Leeds penalty area. Here's Hurst trying to shrug off the attentions of Fairclough. It's gone through to Lukic. And Leeds certainly have got more forward from midfield. It's one of those midfielders, Batty, who finds Wallace this time. He tries to get away from Warhurst. There's the cross, it's a difficult one, and Chapman coming in at the far post just couldn't control it or direct it towards the Sheffield Wednesday net. But he appreciated the service from Rod Wallace. Really skillful play this from the England under-21 international. Gets the better of Warhurst, loops it in. It could even have gone over Woods into the net. Chapman just couldn't turn it in. Lee Chapman looking for his 201st goal. He got his 200th against Forest at the end of last season. Wednesday's turn to come, the pace picking up. Laid off for Danny Wilson by Hurst, who's gone on through the middle. Here's Hurst on his favoured left foot. Just couldn't direct it back to Williams. But it's a good spell for Wednesday now. Here's Phil King. They seem to be getting their feet. Lukic stretches. And not even Palmer coming in could take it away from him. Chapman didn't really look where he was putting that one. King breasted it down. And now Wallace. He might leave King for dead here with his pace. He's found Strachan. He feeds McClelland. Several Leeds players calling for it in the penalty area. Speed with the flick on. Chapman's offside. Well, he thumped it in, didn't he? Nonetheless. Disappointed Lee Chapman not to register. Speed's flick on, the flag had been raised and the whistle sounded, but Lee Chapman wasn't to be denied his moment of what might have been glory. Well, I don't think Williams would have been offside then. Bravely headed through by McClelland, who's continued his canter up the right, and Wallace will go for this one with Warhurst, who can do no more than put it out of play for a Leeds throw-in. Coming up to half an hour gone, and it's still 0-0. Chapman, it came off him. Gary Speed palmed away spectacularly by Chris Woods. Leeds are still here, however, with White, and that surely will get all the way through for the England goalkeeper Chris Woods, who certainly repaid one of the instalments on his transfer fee then. Chapman's touch, and there is a brilliant piece of goalkeeping. Trevor Francis sitting back, rather pensive at the moment, leaving the shouting to others. Seconds to go to half-time. Chances have been very sparse on the day. It's exactly what you would expect of a Yorkshire derby, though. Nobody's going to do anybody any favours on a day like this. One break for someone might be sufficient to give them the glory. Batty, Dorigo. Again, Fairclough strong enough to keep Williams at bay. Oh, and McAllister, a good ball. Strachan, Chapman going down the right. Through the middle goes Wallace. Coming up on the left is Speed, and Roland Nielsen belting the ball happily into the crowd. Anything to keep it away from those two. Now it's Batty for Leeds. He's going to lob this one in. Chapman will be at the back post trying to win it. He goes down under Pearson's challenge. The ball drifts harmlessly out, and a goal kick is the decision. Fairclough almost played that without looking, and I think he's saying as well, shout. I don't think anybody shouted there. The danger might have been that the back pass could have gone to a Wednesday man. McClellan came steaming in to win it, and he's given it to Gary Speed as well. And that's deflected off a Wednesday body for a goal, corner kick. So Leeds might have one last chance in the half. For Wednesday, vital they don't concede a goal now. Remember, they did concede one from a set piece 3 minutes from half-time last Saturday against Villa, and it cost them dear in the end. This time they've got it away, but Speed nods it in the air. Fairclough appeals again for a handball. No, says the referee. No, says the linesman. Wednesday survived that. But Strachan has picked it up, and that's just going to go too far off his chest. Runs out of play. And that's half-time at Ellen Road. Chances very few and far between indeed. Much for Trevor Francis to ponder as he goes away to the Sheffield Wednesday dressing room. Howard Wilkinson will have his troops organised, I'm sure. And Rodney Wallace has perhaps looked as likely as anybody to get a goal on this day so far. 45 minutes to come though. Half-time here is Leeds United 0. No substitutions made as we resume for the second half with Sheffield Wednesday attacking the Kop. King in possession, hoisting it straight onto White's head. King beating Strachan and McClelland. Hurst wins. Well, it's a goal kick. Came off Hurst, he shakes his head. Chris Fairclough smiles. I think one or two people thought that might have been a goal kick. The linesman there, Ian Grandage, showing what an excellent spirit there is here between officials and players. There's no moaning about the decision, just a smile. Do you believe it? Williams for Wednesday. Batty. It wasn't well executed at all. It gave the ball away to Danny Wilson, and Palmer's made a charge up the middle, and he seeks to get in. Carlton Palmer, and it was Gary McAllister who went stride for stride with him to stop the big midfielder getting a shot in on goal. Wednesday soaked up a lot of pressure in the first half. They'll look to apply more of their own in the second. It's been a really difficult start to the campaign for them, though. A home game, which was a very emotional affair against Aston Villa last week, and then a vacant midweek. Wednesday's throw. Longish, and White straight back for Nielsen. Dorigo gets in, and they can have another throw from much further away. Viv Anderson on the near side is Wednesday's other substitute besides the manager. And there's Palmer putting in a header for Hurst on the right foot. He favours the left, really, and spooning that one into the crowd. But David Hurst, everybody knows about his 32 goals last season and his electrifying start to this season with a third-minute goal against Villa. And here he gets the chance on his right foot and balloons it. Forward here for Wallace to sprint onto it. Leeds with 3 men in the box. It's cut back, and Warhurst is the first man to respond and bring it away safely. Oh, and he's done really well, and he's led the charge out superbly well, and he's found Hurst here. Good chance here for David Hurst. Left foot, scores! And David Hurst sends the Wednesday fans into ecstasy. And just as he struck 3 minutes into the match last week at Hillsborough, Hurst has struck again 3 minutes into the second half at Ellen Road, taking it on his right foot, eluding Fairclough, switching to the left and beating Lukic. All ends up. Warhurst's run made the initial inroads. What a good ball it was for Hurst as well. On he goes past Fairclough, and that famed left foot does the trick. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Leeds 0. As Leeds appeal vigorously for a penalty, Wallace biting the turf again. That scoreline is, of course, with Leeds at home. Leeds 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1. And Wednesday, remember, looking for their first points of the season here. And David Hurst responds to the call yet again. Warhurst pace really unhinged Leeds then. Fairclough's header landing on the chest of Wilson. He brings Nielsen into it. Great second half start by Wednesday this. Just what Trevor Francis was looking for. And they're in possession again with Williams. Not once but twice, 3 times as he takes it on from Sheridan. Just about keeps it in as well. So it's Leeds having to do the defending this time. Nielsen to play it in. Here's the ball in. Hurst on the left foot. And he wasn't offside either. And he can't believe that he spurned that chance. They were queuing up for the ball in from Nielsen. It could have gone to any one of the 3. Hurst should have been the right man and on his left boot. And he wasted it. But he has kept his amazing run going. He scored in the last 6 matches of last season. He scored in the first 2 of this. And Wednesday's leading scorer has got Leeds in all sorts of problems now. Now Trevor Francis can lean forward and hide any inward smile there might be. He knows there's a long way to go in this match yet. And again, Hurst showing his pace, and he plays it in field. Good ball as well for King. Williams is up there too. Now Sheridan. How he'd love to get a goal on his return to Ellen Road. Leeds under a lot of pressure. Hurst and the whistle has sounded, and it wasn't heard in the din. Time for Leeds to warm up Steve Hodge and Mel Sterland. Chapman has done well, and McAllister! Superb shot, and a great response from Chris Woods. A shake of the head from McAllister, because he really thundered that one in. A magnificent stop from Woods, who specialises in those sort of saves. Apparently on this ground, he all seemed to enjoy playing at Ellen Road. Strachan with a Leeds corner, however. Speed went for it. It's going to come down to McAllister. Now Hurst seen in a defensive guise, and McAllister can't thread it through, and Wednesday break with King. That really has lifted the atmosphere of the game, the goal. It's the first half gave every evidence of being a bit sterile, in that both defences seemed well on top. That is not the case anymore, and Wallace puts Warhurst under pressure. Sound work from the England under-21 international. Everything Wednesday do at the moment, they're doing quickly and well. And Leeds have certainly been put under a lot of pressure in the opening quarter of an hour of this second half. And that Wednesday pressure has already paid off once. Nigel Pearson's gone up there to supplement the attack. Palmer's in there too. Danny Wilson underneath it this time. Comes away for Speed and for Batty. Now Batty finding Wallace. He'll have to use his pace to get away from all those yellow-shirted defenders chasing him. He's got past the first one, King. And the ball will spill away for Dorigo to lob it in for Chapman's header. Wide of the mark. Wasn't really much hope of Lee Chapman hitting the target from there, with defenders around him. Nonetheless, Dorigo's ball giving him one of his rare opportunities on this afternoon. He's had very few. Palmer just beyond Williams. Chapman, a good flick. And this time Wallace is flattened by Warhurst for a Leeds free kick already taken. Chapman's header on target, but straight at Chris Woods. And that's brought Trevor Francis to his feet as well. He wasn't happy about that. Quickly taken by Strachan. Chapman had made his run well, but couldn't power the header into the net. And that's brought Howard Wilkinson down to the touchline as well. Howard Wilkinson knows that something has got to be done if Leeds are to turn the course of the game. Howard Wilkinson has been looking forward so much to this match. His father, his wife, two sons are here as well. And it's against the team, of course, he guided into Division 1. But at the moment it's Wednesday who are calling the shots. They lead 1-0, but McAllister tussling to win it, and Sheridan doing an excellent marking job on him. Now Batty takes it on from Fairclough's challenge on Hurst, and it will indeed be a Leeds corner. David Hurst staying down, asking if he'd have any attention, and the referee is saying take him off. Well, let him stay on and come and help out. Strachan's ball in. Again, Wednesday do well to get it away. Batty trying to get away from Williams, and a poor touch from Speed might open the Leeds door again for Wednesday. Williams will go on, and he's got Hurst wide on his left. A chance here for David Hurst on his left foot, now on his right foot, and Lukic clings on. It could have been 2-0. Indeed, Hurst has had his three best chances all in this half, Again, he gets it on the right foot, however, and Lukic equal to that. Anxious looks on the faces of Leeds fans. Batty looks for the long ball over the top of Pearson. Wallace will certainly chase it. He never stops running. And I think that Leeds might be making a substitution very shortly as Chapman gets in. Wallace is penalised for the shove in the back of Palmer. And Leeds will indeed bring on Mel Sterland in place of Gary Speed. And John McClelland is going off to be replaced. Steve Hodge coming on, so effectively it's Sterland for McClelland at right back, and Hodge fills in the midfield with Speed going off. So Steve Hodge's debut for Leeds United. Another England international then, replacing a Welsh one. And at right back we've got an England international in place of a Northern Ireland one. Mel Sterland playing for the very first time against his first club and his first love, Sheffield Wednesday. Colossal header from White, which puts Nielsen under some pressure, and Wallace will put him under even more. Expertly done by the Swede, and beautifully done by Sheridan. They always talk about his silky skills, and there he showed them. Wednesday might look to tighten things up in these closing minutes. They lead 1-0 and they've 14 minutes left in which to hold that lead, and here's Hurst. He might even extend it, or Williams might! A touch away. If he'd have made a connection there, it had to be a goal. Always danger lurking in the presence of David Hurst, and here he takes them on, cuts it back, and just nobody got a touch. It's scythed between them. Oh, and the back pass here might be intercepted by Wallace. Warhurst is still with him though, and Wednesday regather quickly. Hodge can't beat Nielsen. Nielsen has been a much more impressive performer today than he was last Saturday. Well, I think even by his own admission he didn't have one of his better games. He's certainly been a rock-solid figure today, and Viv Anderson might join him shortly out there. Chapman's flick out by Warhurst. It's picked up Dorigo. But still Wednesday tussling for every ball and winning their fair share of it as well. Williams working back in defence. And they played their way out of trouble very nicely indeed. Hooked away by Sterland, only as far as Williams, and he's still got two men up with him. Here is Sheridan, and here is Hurst, can make it two! The inside of the upright. And that's how close Wednesday were to sealing the points, I fancy. If that had gone in, I don't think there'd have been much way back for Leeds in 12 minutes. David Hurst ruining his luck. Williams, Sheridan, he teed him up, and that was thumped in against the upright. So an unnerving moment for Leeds. It was certainly one that Hurst would have cherished had it found the net. And is he onside here? He is, and surely now David Hurst can seal it for Wednesday. Leeds were looking for offside, it wasn't forthcoming, and Hurst spurns the chance. Even he seemed a little dumbfounded, but he was allowed to run clear. But again he goes on the right foot. He chose the wrong option. It struck White, and it's a corner for Wednesday. But David Hurst has had 4 excellent chances in this half, and I don't think that Trevor Francis down on the bench can believe it. He's turned away from the pitch and he's looking into the stand. Perhaps he can't bear to watch what's going on out there. Hurst should have buried Leeds then. And why didn't he do it on his left foot? We all know it's a better one. Worthington with the corner for Wednesday. Lukic can't get to, and it's Chapman who turns it behind for another one. Still 1-0. It could so easily have been 2 or even 3. Sheridan's corner this time. The signal has gone out and it's gone. The ball has gone beyond Hurst. Well, some agonising moments for Trevor Francis down on the Sheffield Wednesday bench. I don't think he can believe that Hurst hasn't already secured the 3 points. Richie Barker really bellowing the orders out now, but he knows as well as anybody that this game should have been wrapped up by Wednesday long ago, really. 4 minutes left and they've missed 4 chances. Chapman's header, here's Wallace and Strachan, and now McAllister arriving. Here's the chance for Hodge, and Steve Hodge sweeps in his first goal for Leeds United, and that may well be good enough to win a point and make the Yorkshire derby all square. It's been a long time coming. Strachan's header knocked up in the air, and Steve Hodge, only minutes after coming on in his first appearance as a substitute for Leeds United, could well have rescued a point for them. Well, it's a great start for the England international to his Leeds career. A sickening blow for Wednesday, who've held the lead for so long, but they have been their own worst enemies in missing chances, notably David Hurst. He's had 2 or 3 opportunities to wrap it up and hasn't taken them, and that's the penalty that Wednesday have paid. They know they were so close. It's not all over yet. 2 minutes left. Leeds roared on by their fans. Wallace there again, and Warhurst struggling to get the ball away from him. Dorigo, could we have a sensational end to the game? Well, Leeds have a corner, and that really has brought the Leeds bench to its feet. Hennigan, Wilkinson, Sutton, they're all up. Would indeed be an amazing transformation if Leeds were to get a winner. Hodges in there again, Fairclough's in there. Wednesday still knocking it out, and the ball trickles through to Chris Woods, who falls on it so gratefully. And this is how close Leeds came to snatching a winner. Wallace the toe poke, straight to Woods. Well, there's a new spring in the step of Leeds as they win another corner here with a minute to go. And now it's Wednesday's hearts that are flapping a bit. Another Leeds corner. Again they look to snatch a winner. Strachan hits it longer this time. Back post is Chris White. He can't get there. Nielsen does. And indeed Sheffield Wednesday want to bring Trevor Francis on. They're trying to get him on desperately to slow things down. They're going to send on Viv Anderson with only seconds of the match left in place of Paul Williams. They realise they need a bigger man in that defence. The 90 minutes are actually on the clock as Viv Anderson goes to take his place in a defence under pressure. Batty's throw. Oh, headed on, Wallace out and hooked away by Wilson. That could so easily have ended up in the Wednesday net too. And still Leeds are looking for a late winner. Chapman's header, a foot wide. And that would have been a storybook finish to the game for Lee Chapman, the man who scored so many goals for Sheffield Wednesday. 63 in all for that club. And so close to one for this one, Leeds. Overhead kick from Batty, sliced up in the air by Nielsen. And the referee gives a free kick. And now Trevor Francis is to come on, just to waste up a few more seconds for Sheffield Wednesday, probably. The referee hasn't seen it, but indeed, yes, Trevor Francis will get 15 seconds of action, perhaps. It'll be the first time he's played in a competitive match here since 1980, and Hurst comes off a bit disconsolate, I manage, because he knows he could have won the points, the full points for Wednesday. His goal will probably earn them 1, it could have been 3. And Trevor Francis, who scored on his last appearance on this ground for Nottingham Forest 10 years ago, comes on belatedly. Wouldn't it be astonishing if he scored? Well, here he is in possession. Palmer. Just beyond Francis. Sterling knocks it away from him. And the first Yorkshire First Division derby for more than 2 decades has ended all square. It's probably the right result. A lot of pressure from Leeds before Steve Hodge, just 4 minutes from time, won them a point after David Hurst had given Sheffield Wednesday the lead in the 48th minute. Good action in the second half. We'll hear from the 2 managers again in a moment, but it's ended here. Leeds United 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Join us again. 2 shades of feeling for you now. Quite happy with the performance, a bit disappointed at the end of the day not to get 3 points.
Yes, we felt last week when we were 2-0 up against Aston Villa that we're on our way to 3 points, and it's history now what happened. And once again today, I felt that it was going to be my first victory as a manager at Sheffield Wednesday, but it wasn't to be. It
would have been a nice place to get it as well, wouldn't it?
Yes, it's a great place to come, and you know, that's what you want. That's when we come up to the First Division, you know, to go to Ellen Road and Anfield and Old Trafford. It's what it's all about, and I thought the players applied themselves very well today. Defensively, we were much stronger, much tighter, and we're very aggressive throughout the game. And I think that you know, we probably did deserve to win the game.
If there's one thing we've developed in the last 2 years, it's the ability to go the whole course. We showed that last year in cup ties, we showed it last year in some league games, and we showed it today. We were the only thing we were playing on in the last 10-15 minutes was guts, but then that's not a bad thing to play on.
David Hurst, we've got to ask you about him. I mean, he's done it again for you today, yet he could have had 3 or 4.
Yes, he could have had 3 or 4, and I'm sure that you know, during that second half spell when he had a couple of good chances, especially the one when he hit the post, if that had gone in, that would have finished the game. That would have been the 3 points.
That's my life story. It's every week. I always manage to get a couple of crossbars or posts or something like that, yeah.
I actually said at the start of the season that it's a big year for him. If he continues like he is, he's going to be in the England squad, and I'd be disappointed by the end of the season if he's not a regular in the England team.
Did you feel at the end that really it was a game that you ought to have had 3 points rather than the 1?
I think, yeah, obviously, as I said earlier, with the chances that I missed, yeah, we probably could have scraped a win. But, I mean, it was a good game all around. Leeds came back, kept fighting away, pulled a goal back, so yeah, 1 apiece, good result.
Well, it was a marvellous atmosphere again, wasn't it? I think that both supporters played their part, both teams went out and did everything, and you know, it can only be good for Yorkshire.
And your massive circle of family and friends from Sheffield have been pestering you all week for tickets. Will have had a reasonable afternoon's entertainment.
Well, they've had a great day's entertainment, all on me. I've paid all week and I've paid all afternoon, and I'm still paying there.
Well, he can smile, but football, of course, isn't all glamour. Take Steve Hodge, at 20-5, the hero of Elland Road. At 5 o'clock, since he had only done 20 minutes work after all, a little extra training.